Hey guys, mitä kuuluu? I just bought a new phone a couple of days back, and as you can see, it's the OnePlus 5T. I ended up with this after a fairly quick research, which already tells that there was no reason to think twice, at least for me. The point of this video is to see whether this is the one for you. And since I've had this phone only for a short time, these are going to be my first impressions. I'm not going to talk about everything, only the stuff that might affect your decision making. To begin with, this is one humongous phone. I guess that phablets are in nowadays. And if you don't know what's a phablet, it's a mix between a phone and a tablet. So the OnePlus 5T is packing a 6.01 inch screen, and to put things in perspective, that's only 0.29 inches smaller than the one of Note 8. And as you might guess, my first thought was that how am I ever going to be able to live with this? However, it's perfectly manageable after a few days, because you get used to things. Nevertheless, if you're really concerned about practical one-hand usage, well, then you might want to choose another phone, because as you can see, this one doesn't even fit in my pockets. But luckily the OnePlus 5T is really thin, so if you happen to have deep pockets, it's not going to stick out much. One thing that's really interesting is that when I was doing my research about phones, I was trying to look ones with smaller screens, but those always came with worse specs. So can we say that this is like a trend, that people don't want smaller phones anymore? I don't know, the time will show. But let's move on to the screen itself. If you are currently thinking that you should absolutely get a Retina or a QHD display, you can just forget them, because the screen on this one is really good. Even though the display on OnePlus 5T is only Full HD and it has a lower PPI rate than my old phone Nexus 5, it still looks 6.01 times better. Get it? Because the screen is like 6.0. Okay, you get it. Well, anyways, thanks to the AMOLED technology used in OnePlus 5T, the screen is really bright and colorful, and in fact I'm having no regrets about the big screen. And please keep in mind that sharper displays cost more. So what OnePlus has now done is that they give you this amazing display with lower costs. I would say that the only bad thing about this display is that it comes with the new and trendy 18:9 ratio, which means that all of the apps are not going to be optimized for this device. So what it means in practice is that you will see either the navigation bar or some black boxes with videos. But all in all, I would say that the wonderful display itself might win your comparison with other devices already. But next, let's talk about the Oxygen OS that comes with the OnePlus 5T. If you're used to have some other version of Android, you might not like the characteristics of Oxygen. Like with me, for some reason I just don't like the way it looks and works. But that's no problem, because Android is Android, and the best thing about Android is the customizability. So the first thing that what I did with this phone is that I went to Google Play Store and I downloaded a third-party launcher for this phone, namely the Nova Launcher. The reason why I prefer Nova Launcher is that it's so customizable. I feel that with Oxygen OS I'm just stuck with this thing that what other people call stock Android. Well, it might work for you, but if you don't happen to like it, just remember that you have plenty of alternatives to choose from. Moving on, let's talk about power. The thing about OnePlus 5T is that I haven't really paid attention to the performance, because actually you don't notice stuff that's working perfectly. Even with the cheaper version of the OnePlus 5T packing 6 gigs of RAM, you can still feel free to set max graphics in any game. And that's the best part about OnePlus 5T. The user experience is so fluent and lag-free that it works like, let's say, a greased lightning. Okay, now that we've covered the major points about OnePlus 5T, I'll be bringing up some minor things that you might want to know before buying this device. Let's start with the charger. I bet that you've already heard about Dash Charge and how fast it is. And well, I have to agree, it's really fast. But god damn it, is it short! I mean, if you look at the cable, it's really short. It's much shorter than my previous cable, and actually I'm frequently forced to leave the phone on the floor because the charger just doesn't reach to a table or another object. Also, one thing I noticed when I was doing my research about my next phone is that people said that OnePlus 5T has a bad camera. I don't know why that is, because the camera is definitely, well, it's not amazing, but it's definitely not bad. And if you're looking at these shots, they are just like random shots and they're like really crisp and the colors are good. Cute kitty. And I especially like the options to shoot 4K video and full HD with 60 frames per second. So to put it shortly, it's a good camera. And the very last thing that I want to bring up is the fingerprint scanner. Okay, let's say it right away. I really love this fingerprint scanner, but even though it's super fast, it still misses my fingerprint like, let's say, 1 in 10 attempts. So you sometimes need to pay attention to the angle or to the way you use the fingerprint scanner. But all in all, it's really good and it makes your life so much easier. To conclude, the OnePlus 5T is a must considering its price, and we can say that comparing to the prices of, let's say, Note 8 or iPhone X, I think this is a clear winner. Because the thing about OnePlus 5T is the combination of features. It's packing everything you expect from a high-end device, and I promise you, you definitely won't need a new phone for a while. However, even though this device is relatively very cheap, you need to make clear for yourself if you're ready for a big phone, because it can be inconvenient to use and you need to optimize your wardrobe, because if you happen to have small pockets, you're going to be in trouble. Also, there's no need to be afraid of the characteristics of OnePlus, because you can always go to the Play Store and download everything you want and customize your phone from the icons to the animations. So what can I say? You either buy this or an iPhone X and then you don't have any money for clothes. The choice is yours. Thank you for watching.